we get to the bodywork, we're gonna block this whole car with 180 and start applying body filler to where it's needed to get edges like between here and here smooth. There's a slight ridge on this. There's ridges, you know, things aren't perfectly smooth this way. So that's what we're looking for now. So stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to Mike's Custom Garage. The car is sanded, 180 grit, blocked out, the whole thing. Been cleaned. Now it's ready for filler. What I've done is I put filler on the doors, on the front of it and the rear of it. And the reason for that, doors don't move. We'll cut that and open it up once everything else is done. But for now, it keeps the panels from moving, and I can do fitment across. Now these are pretty good, so it shouldn't take a lot, but all the panels will probably need a little bit of something to make them fit better than factory, because let's face it, factory wasn't perfect either. So we're gonna start laying on some mud and get the sanding. As one area is driving, you're applying mud to the next area, and just keep moving, and then as the first one dries, you go back and sand. You know, and keep moving this thing around. Hopefully by the end of this video, I can have most of the body work done on this, and we'll start putting some high build primer on it. So let's get to applying some body filler. Okay, we got some fiberglass mixed up, and I'm gonna apply it to this joint. I might have said it in the last video, but there's lots of different products people use on these joints. I like fiberglass. It works. It's worked for me for many years. And we're going to stick with it. Okay, while that fiberglass is drying on the corner, mix up some filler for the trunk lid. Now, this trunk lid's pretty bad. There's a lot of highs and lows, a lot of low spots mostly. And I'm going to skim coat the whole thing. I usually don't have to skim coat the whole panels, but if it has to be done, it has to be done, and this is one of those cases. I'll start in one corner and just work my way across. And You gotta move pretty quick because this stuff will dry up on you quick. Usually I get about 3.5 minutes out of a mix. So it's pretty much spend the first minute getting it on the car and the next 2 minutes smoothing it. What I jump to is a flatter blade knife. Let's say we're not trying to put a lot of this on, so giving it a nice thin coat. Okay, well that's set, and we'll move on to another panel. Okay, while this is drying here, I don't want to be putting fresh stuff on the stuff that's as it's drying. It may cause it to pull the other stuff, so I will just move on to the other side. Okay, now I'm using 2 mixing boards so that as one's drying as one's being used. So I'll clean this one, put it down, grab the other one, I should be ready to start mixing some more. Now I'll let these both dry, so I'll let that sit, and I'll move on into the quarter panel. I'll start applying filler there. Now I know on the quarter panel where the problem areas are, up here, there was some small dents, went across, rolls across here. So like I said, we just put it on quick and heavy, and then we'll smooth it out. Down lower, I marked a few areas where I knew there was dents. I want to make sure I didn't lose track of them. So there's one here, and one on the edge. And the transition from this panel to that panel will also need some filler. And this you'll want to bring out probably to here, just so it's a nice smooth transition from here to there. Now, the thing to here is to come down with the body flow, not across and leave flat spots. This body's round, is to bring all your strokes coming down so that when you sand it, your cross angles, you can keep this nice and flat. Yesterday we started applying the body filler in the areas needed. This is mostly not because of dents like in here, but because this was in farther than here, and it was perfect on the edge. So the lines, the curvatures are different. Waves on the top of the panels. I mean, these are new panels, but they're by no means perfect. And we want this to be as good as we possibly can. So this is the way. I mean, you just find the low spots, fill them. This is the first run. A lot of things like where the doors and the fenders met, I want to make sure they're nice and smooth, so we are put filler on both sides. I'll sand it flat, make sure that those are good. We'll probably have to do the same thing here. This is pretty close anyway. There's the Duraglass, nice and flat. It's got a little of an indent in the middle, which is fine. We'll sand this down, put a little bit of body filler on it, that'll be good. Trunk lid, full cover. I mean, it was really not straight. So we're gonna go around the car now. We're gonna start with the trunk, and we're gonna guide coat it and start blocking. Hey, like you've probably seen in other channels, same thing. Sanding this way, and then we'll sand this way. Now we're not pushing down hard, we're just giving it enough pressure to cut. Let the sandpaper do the work. And we'll get this nice and flat, and then we'll move on to the next panel. Okay, so as you can see, I've got this pretty much sanded. As it hits the black, just when we stop. Here's a low spot still here, one down there. That's where there's like a scratch from putting the filler on it, and it had a piece of dirt in it or something, and it dragged it. And there's a few spots along the way that still need some more filler. So what we'll do is we'll put another coat of filler on these low spots, and then sand these down and finish and guide coat it and finish them again. As you see, you stop when you start hitting the black. That's the epoxy, and we're hitting in quite a few places, so this looks good. Say one more skim coat on a few spots, and this trunk lid will be ready to go. I sanded down the Duraglass on this. We didn't do it on camera. This stuff is hard as a rock. This stuff takes some serious time, but that's what it's for. It's to seal out, it's waterproof, it's not gonna let any moisture in, and it seals the welded areas through here, and it has, you can build it thicker than you can body filler. So that's all sanded. We're gonna put a coat of body filler on this. The front fender, we sanded the tops of it, and another spot with filler there. I sanded that down, and so you saw that on time lapse. We put a second coat over that whole thing. Also the front, trying to build this to match. It was good on the edges, but not here. So put a little bit, put a skim coat over that. We'll sand that. We got the same thing on this side, a couple spots on top. So we're gonna start sanding all of these. And we're gonna skim coat that trunk lid. So we got mixed up some more filler. Getting ready to put the hardener in it. But I thought I'd do the video first, just because once I got 3 minutes to get that thing finished. So gotta move. So we're gonna put that filler on, same as we did the last one with the little putty knife, then the big one. And I'm gonna put the phone on charge while that's doing that and drying, and then we'll come on back once it's dry. Okay, what I've done is put guide coat over the areas that I put more filler, using a small block and just trying to sand around the areas that the filler's in, and not as much go onto the rest. So what I'm looking for here is to get this down to this, and so you watch for the edges as they turn from the black to the yellow. You know you're good. As you can see, you've still got some dark spots. Let's put some more filler in those and we'll move on. Now, brushing this cross more than once will take away some of the air pockets you'll get. That's why you don't want to put it on too thick, because when you put it on thick you get air pockets, and that causes your pinholes. Okay, we'll let that dry and we'll sand this. Okay, well, we still got the low area here, which is low to this. So we'll put a little more filler in here. We'll let that dry, we'll probably go back to sanding that. Okay, we'll let that dry. And I'll go back to this. It's a back and forth process, because you over and over until it's what it's got to be. So let's sand that up, and hopefully that looks better. We'll bring it back after it's sanded. Now that we applied filler to the sail panel, we'll go back and do the front fender again. Now that's dry, and we'll work our way back again. And hopefully this time here, maybe be our last time. We'll see. There you go. We kept sanding. I stopped taping. There's just so much footage of sanding Bondo. There's only so much you guys can watch. I get it. So what we gotta do now is I gotta take the front fender buckets out, clean up my edges in here. All the edges on the fenders, doors are all done. I cut where I put Bondo across the doors in here. I cut that out so the doors would open. Finished off the door jamb. Trunk is done. Got to take the quarter extensions off. Do the same thing. Clean up in here. And right now the car is pushed all the way over to one side. We'll pull it back over to the other side. And I'll finish up a couple spots. Here's a small dent I found there when I was scuffing it up. So just going over and checking things twice, 3 times to make sure I got all that I want to get done before I lay primer on. This is probably the most important step. Again, it was sanded with 80, and then it was sanded with 180. And that's what we have now. We're in 180. So, as you can see, I went through in a lot of spots. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 1 coat of epoxy on the whole car. And then I'm going to put 2 coats of 2K primer on it. So yeah, we're really close now. We'll get these extensions apart, get all those edges cleaned up. And that'll probably be it for this video. So there you have it. It's coming along nice. So I will get primer on it over the weekend and continue forward. So thanks for watching. Hit that like, subscribe, notifications, leave a comment, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.